What happens when banks, the institutions built to project confidence, suddenly start acting nervous? Over the last hour, quiet signals from financial systems around the world have revealed something unsettling. As crypto markets shake, traditional banks aren't standing comfortably on the sidelines anymore. Liquidity pressures, exposure fears, and digital asset uncertainty are colliding in ways few expected. This isn't just about price charts dropping or headlines flashing red. It's about a deeper shift in trust, risk, and financial control. In this video, we'll break down why banks are uneasy, how crypto turmoil is spreading beyond traders, and what this moment really means for the global financial system. Stay with me, because what's unfolding now may reshape how money itself is viewed going forward. Banks are watching crypto move faster than they can react. Banks are built for stability, not speed, and that's exactly why current crypto volatility is unsettling them. Digital assets move in minutes, sometimes seconds, while banking systems rely on slower controls and layered approvals. As crypto prices swing sharply, banks with even indirect exposure feel the shock immediately. Payment rails, custody services, and institutional clients are all connected to these movements. When markets move faster than risk models can update, fear sets in. This isn't panic, it's structural discomfort. Traditional finance depends on predictability, and crypto thrives on rapid shifts. That mismatch is forcing banks into defensive positions, reassessing exposure in real time, and reacting to events that no longer give them the luxury of slow decision-making. Liquidity stress is quietly entering the conversation. Liquidity is the lifeblood of banks, and crypto turmoil puts pressure on it in unexpected ways. When digital markets wobble, institutions tighten cash access, delay settlements, and increase collateral demands. This creates friction throughout the system. Some banks are worried not about losses, but about sudden withdrawal spikes linked to crypto-linked clients. Even rumors can strain liquidity, and banks are extremely sensitive to that risk. The fear isn't collapse, it's imbalance. Once confidence wavers, liquidity dries up faster than balance sheets suggest. That's why banks are acting cautious now, rather than reactive later. History has taught them that liquidity stress spreads quietly, long before it becomes visible to the public. Exposure isn't always direct, but it's still dangerous. Many banks insist they have minimal exposure to crypto, and technically, that may be true. But indirect exposure is where risk hides. Custody services, lending to crypto firms, payment processing, and institutional derivatives all link banks to digital markets. When crypto firms struggle, banks feel the aftershocks through credit risk and counterparty uncertainty. This interconnectedness makes it hard to isolate damage. Even banks that avoided direct investments are reassessing relationships tied to digital assets. The concern isn't one bad actor, it's the chain reaction. When confidence breaks at one point, it ripples outward. Banks know from experience that indirect exposure can hurt just as much as direct losses. Confidence is the real currency. Under pressure, banks don't operate on money alone. They operate on trust. Crypto turmoil challenges that trust by introducing uncertainty into systems built on reassurance. When markets shake, depositors pay attention to headlines, not footnotes. Even if banks are safe, perception can become a threat. That's why institutions are so sensitive right now. Confidence is fragile, and once questioned, it's hard to rebuild quickly. Crypto volatility adds noise to an already tense global financial environment. Banks fear not crypto itself, but how quickly sentiment can shift. When people start asking whether systems are prepared, confidence becomes the most valuable and vulnerable asset in the room. Artificial intelligence is flagging risks. Faster than humans behind closed doors, artificial intelligence systems are playing a larger role in how banks assess crypto-related risk. These systems scan market data, liquidity flows, and sentiment indicators far faster than human teams. What they're detecting isn't just price movement, but correlation spikes across markets. That alarms institutions. Artificial intelligence doesn't panic, but it highlights patterns that suggest instability. When models show increased synchronization between crypto and traditional assets, banks take notice. This technology is forcing earlier risk discussions than in past cycles. The irony is that while artificial intelligence increases visibility, it also exposes how little control institutions have over rapidly shifting digital ecosystems they don't fully govern. Regulatory pressure is intensifying in real time. As crypto turmoil spreads, regulators are watching banks just as closely. Institutions face pressure to justify exposure, tighten controls, and demonstrate resilience. This scrutiny creates tension because rules often lag innovation. Banks are caught between adapting to digital assets and avoiding regulatory backlash. When crypto markets become unstable, regulators tend to respond conservatively, which increases compliance burdens overnight. That forces banks to pull back, even if risks are manageable. The fear isn't punishment, it's unpredictability. Regulatory uncertainty compounds financial uncertainty, making banks more cautious than usual. In moments like this, institutions prioritize survival over growth, and that shift affects the broader financial ecosystem almost immediately. Cross-border risk is what truly worries institutions. Crypto doesn't respect borders, but banking regulations do. That contrast is deeply unsettling for global institutions. When turmoil spreads worldwide, banks must navigate different rules, currencies, and legal frameworks simultaneously. A disruption in one region can trigger compliance or liquidity issues in another. Cross-border transactions amplify uncertainty, especially when crypto firms operate globally but fail locally. Banks fear fragmented responses that leave gaps in risk coverage. Global coordination is slow, while crypto markets move instantly. This imbalance increases vulnerability. Institutions aren't just reacting to one market, they're managing dozens at once. The worldwide nature of crypto volatility makes containment far more difficult than traditional financial shocks. Institutional clients are asking hard questions. Large clients don't panic, but they do ask questions, and those questions are coming fast. Institutional investors want reassurance about custody, settlement safety, and liquidity access during crypto volatility. Banks must respond clearly or trust erodes. These conversations often happen quietly, but their impact is huge. When clients hesitate, activity slows. When activity slows, risk increases elsewhere. Banks sense this shift immediately. It's not about mass exits, it's about hesitation. Even brief uncertainty can reshape strategies. Institutions fear losing credibility more than capital. That's why client communication has become intense during this period. Calm explanations now prevent reactive decisions later, and banks know the stakes. Crypto volatility is exposing structural weaknesses. Every financial shock reveals something hidden, and crypto volatility is doing the same. Settlement timing, risk models, and liquidity assumptions are being stress-tested without warning. Banks are discovering where traditional frameworks struggle to account for decentralized assets. These aren't fatal flaws, but they are uncomfortable ones. Crypto operates outside many established buffers, making integration tricky. Institutions are realizing that partial participation still carries full system consequences. This realization fuels caution. Structural gaps don't cause immediate collapse, but they increase anxiety. Banks aren't frightened because systems are broken. They're uneasy because systems are being tested in ways they weren't originally designed to handle. Market psychology is shifting faster than data. One of the biggest concerns for banks right now is psychology. Data may show resilience, but sentiment moves independently. Crypto markets amplify emotion, and that energy leaks into traditional finance. Banks track numbers, but they also track behavior. When fear spreads faster than facts, systems become fragile. This psychological spillover is difficult to quantify and even harder to control. Banks are trained to anticipate rational stress, not emotional contagion. That's why they're on edge. Emotional reactions can trigger liquidity events before fundamentals deteriorate. Managing perception has become just as critical as managing capital during this turbulent moment. This isn't a collapse, it's a repricing of risk. Despite the tension, it's important to understand what's really happening. Banks aren't facing immediate collapse. They're adjusting to a global repricing of risk. Crypto turmoil forces institutions to reevaluate assumptions about volatility, correlation, and exposure. This process feels dramatic, but it's also necessary. Financial systems evolve through stress. The fear comes from speed, not inevitability. Banks are recalibrating, not retreating entirely. That distinction matters. Repricing risk is uncomfortable, but it strengthens systems long-term. The danger lies in denial, not adjustment. What we're seeing now is financial reality asserting itself after a period of rapid innovation outpaced traditional safeguards. What happens next depends on discipline, not fear. The next phase isn't decided by panic, it's shaped by discipline. Banks that respond calmly, communicate clearly, and respect risk will navigate this period successfully. Those that react emotionally or ignore early warning signs may struggle. Crypto turmoil isn't the enemy. Unmanaged exposure is. Institutions know this, which is why concern doesn't equal chaos. This moment will separate resilient systems from fragile ones. It's not about banning innovation, it's about integrating it responsibly. How banks act now will influence trust for years. The future isn't being destroyed, it's being negotiated under pressure, one disciplined decision at a time. What's unfolding right now shows us something powerful. Crypto volatility doesn't exist in isolation anymore. It reaches banks, institutions, and global systems through trust, liquidity, and perception. The real lesson here isn't fear, it's awareness. Financial systems survive not by avoiding stress, but by responding intelligently to it. If this breakdown helped you better understand what's happening behind the headlines, show your support by liking the video, subscribing, and sharing it with others who want clarity instead of noise. Drop your thoughts in the comments. This conversation matters. Stay informed, stay calm, and stay tuned, because the financial story unfolding next will shape how the world thinks about money itself.